Well, hello everyone, and welcome to Hogarth's Global Astrology. Know your planets, know yourself. And this is the next installment of HoGaLe's, of course, as you can see. Over to, I actually pointed the right
You got
way
it
this
right.
time.
Oops.
I got it right this time. Over to my right, I have Lady G in New Mexico, looking lovely in blue and a floral. Well, actually, we're both floral today, looking gorgeous. And down under, proper down under this time, we have, of course, Dr.Lena Rodriguez.
Hello, everyone.
Indeed. And we've got an interesting show for you folks. As usual, the ladies do not know what I am going to ask them. But of course, the show is composed of your questions, and we do have one or two juicy ones in there, ladies, which are quite thought-provoking, shall we say.
Okay.
But as usual, the ladies really, I'm not sure what I'm going to ask them. And before we continue further, thank you for everyone joining us. Happy Sunday if you're joining us on Sunday with your coffee and
Thank you,
stuff like that.
Hogarth. It is Sunday for me.
Well, of course, that's okay. Yes. For Lena, it's already Sunday because she's in the future, of course. And please don't forget as well to like, subscribe, and share. The ladies' details as well to their channels are also in the chat. And just a quickie from me, I'm doing a Christmas special, 25% off. Details in the description, and I'll just leave it there. Now,
Okay. What are you doing?
Huh?
What are you doing?
I'm just doing my little Christmas special where I do a discount on my readings or my consultations.
Oh,
for
I
Christmas.
see. Not a Christmas special show.
Right. Oh yeah. Sorry. I didn't want it to be like this big plug or anything like that, but it's just something I like to do each year. But anyway, we should all meet in person at some point. We should.
Absolutely. It's my life goal.
Indeed. So, ladies, shall we begin with the show? It's quite action-packed and we're going to go at some pace as usual. All right, let's begin. So we're going to jump into our esoteric aeroplane as everyone starts to join us. We're actually going to Iceland. Iceland. Yeah. So this is coming from Nicola McClafferty. Thank you so much for your question. Little bit of a longer one, so I'll try and be quick. Iceland is on a major eruption alert with frequent earthquakes and a town evacuated. They are also trying to build defenses by one of their power stations. Do the cards show how severe this eruption may potentially be? Will it cause major issues to Atlantic flight paths, or will this pass uneventfully? And then she goes on to say Pam Gregory. So I think most people know Pam Gregory, Western astrologer, fabulous.
Yeah.
Has indicated coming planetary alignments are showing more earthquakes, and two monitoring systems have moved over 4 feet apart. So it seems to be a major upheaval is occurring. Thanks awfully. So basically, is this going to be a big deal? Are we going to see some kind of eruption in Iceland?
Right. And if you guys all remember, I can't remember how many years ago, there was the huge Icelandic eruption. And the problem was for all the newsreaders all over the world trying to pronounce the name of the volcano, which is like 12 syllables long. If we have any Icelandic viewers, can you please tell us how to pronounce that?
Yeah. Volcano be an issue?
Iceland. Ooh. Okay.
Who's ready to go?
I can go if you like.
Go for it. What do you get?
I think there is going to be a significant eruption. I'm using the Japaridze deck here. I don't know if you can see it. Stranger of Fire is the name of the card. Then there's the Empress, And we know the Empress magnifies things around her. So I think everyone should be on alert for this. There is also the Ace of Swords, or the wind here, the bat with the wind. So I think there will be complications from wind currents. I think it will affect international flights, etc. I think there will be an issue with the wind. Then they get the Hierophant here and Justice. So I think with the Hierophant, it'll be the Hierophant is about legal things and political things. This will be keeping people safe in Iceland. I think it'll be very strict. And I love the imagery on this card, the two umbrellas for justice. I think people will help Iceland contain the damage as best they can. But I think batten down the hatches.
Yes. Lady G, what do you have?
Well, before I had done a tarot read a few months ago and said that there was going to be an amping up of volcanoes and this type of thing, earthquakes and volcanoes as well. But what I got here is, we have what's being sold, but in this case, we have a lot of cups. So a lot of flow is going to happen with it. The key is going to be to go forward. That's going to be tough because we have the fullness of this, and above it we have fireworks, explosion. So yeah, it's going to happen, and it's going to be slow moving as well. The difficulty is for government getting deeper knowledge about it and the timing of this and what's going to happen going forward. They're looking at the next action and trying to get the information needed to go forward. And I think a lot of them are going to have to leave that area to move somewhere else, because it's just going to continue to be a powder keg difficulty.
Oh, indeed. I've got very similar, different cards, but similar theme. Again, it's remarkable, actually, the synchronicity. So the question is, will there be an earthquake? Will there be an earthquake? Will there be an eruption? And just to continue with the astro theme, like with what Pam Gregory was talking about, and you guys would have heard me say as well, when particularly Uranus is well known for causing earthquakes and eruptions, all of that stuff. Uranus is in sidereal Aries, which is what? Fire sign. And it's there with Jupiter, which expands things like the Empress. And it's there with Rahu, which is Gandanta in the drowning point of the sky at the moment. So anyway, right. Is there going to be an eruption? Look at the card I get. The Tower.
Yes.
With all three of us have got fire cards, folks. So it's looking like it's more likely than not. In the obstacle position, stinky fish for me, but this is obviously can mean what? An unpleasant message. So there's going to be what? An unpleasant message about fire. Maybe something erupting, something going off. Six of Swords, so more people will likely have to evacuate the area. Again, very similar to the ladies, literally moving to smooth the waters. This is obviously coming at a time around, coming up close to Christmas and families. So families having to move and stuff like that. But this is also reminding us, people are going to talk about that last eruption, which none of us can remember the name of, but it was really long. What was it? Hercule? I can't remember what it was. But it was significant. And it's going to cost some money as well. Yeah, there might be some financial damage and stuff like that. But also as well, I think this is just, Iceland is already, they're well prepared. They're well prepared. At least they've got some warning. But, I think they'll be fine. But looks like it's going to happen. We'll have to see. I hope not. Ladies, anything to add to that?
No. Someone has asked about will St. Helens go off in the US? But we've got a full program. So just remember, if you've got questions, send them to Hogarth's community tab before the show, a day or so before.
Please do, because I do get a lot of questions in the comments on split across various shows. And as you ladies know, it is almost impossible to track them down because we get hundreds. All right, but thank you anyway for submitting your questions. Ladies, are we ready for the next question?
Oh, just a moment. We do have an Icelandic viewer. Thank you, Hilda. I'll probably wreck the pronunciation. Eyjafjallajökull. Okay, it's the name of the volcano.
There you are. And big up Iceland. Thank you. Thank you so much.
I am so stoked.
That's amazing that we've got someone from Iceland here.
I love it.
Internationale. Wonderful. Are we ready for the next question? Yeah. All right, let's go for it. So now we're going in our aeroplane and we're going to the USA, of course. Yeah, where it seems every drama of the world is at right now. But we're going to, this is a question about the NYCC mayor, Eric Adams. So a couple of people asked about him, and I'm going to join the two together and then we'll just read on that. Because I did section part B and part A. Here we are. So this has come in from, this first bit is coming from JMVJ. So please give us the lowdown on Eric Adams, the mayor of NYC, and the outcome of his term. He's just had a major blow to his credibility, and the migrant crisis is destroying the city. So there's, for those that don't know, there's a lot of stuff going where a lot of people are sleeping in the streets in New York, and my New York contacts and clients are saying it's a nightmare for them. So there's that part. And then I go back over here, and this is coming from Jazzy the Cat. So please read on what will happen to NYC Mayor Adams since the FBI seized his cell phone and iPad. Have you heard about this? And to give a little bit more. So it's apparently it's like a potential corruption investigation. They've raided the home of his campaign fundraiser, who's called Brianna Sugg. Well, they've looked at his home as well. But with her, they've taken 2 laptops and 3 cell phones. And apparently regulators are trying to ascertain the source of a $300,000 donation. Adams says he's got nothing to hide, but is allegedly the donation could be in connection with the Turkish government. So it's quite interesting. Yeah, quite a juicy one. So shall we just read what on that energy is going to happen there? What's going to happen?
What's going on generally?
Yeah.
What's his name? Eric Adams.
Eric Adams, yeah. Eric Adams. For entertainment purposes only.
Yeah.
Well. Who's ready to go?
Well, I can.
Go for it.
Interesting cards. He has enemies. I'm not surprised here. These are the little Italian cards. This can be the White House, of course, the Pink House, but I think here it just means his position in New York, you know, as the mayor of here. So he's got people who are jealous and who see him as vain in some way.
Ooh.
then he gets the card of jealousy, just in case I wasn't sure. Like, it's really quite weird. Quite weird. It went in this particular direction, right? So that's what kicked off this particular inquiry, was some professional jealousy. Then there's the card of the reunion or the deal being made. And the last card is disgracia, disgrace. Ooh. Sorry, Eric, if I'm wrong.
Well.
I don't think he's handled this migrant thing very well at all. But anyway, that's another story.
Yeah. And
I
Lady
don't think it's
Chi.
looking good.
Yeah.
Well,
Lady
when
Chi.
I have the topic of this, it appears that she is holding on to some information about friends that they want to end this. He is feeling now beleaguered because there was some sort of crafty things happening with darker element type of conversations going on behind the scenes. The challenge is the nightmare scenario of sleepless nights and going forward because of some promise that was made that has money attached to it. But this is rapidly opening the door to some heavy information. So, yeah, there's more to come.
Ooh. Wow. Okay. This is turning out to be quite the question, isn't it? Quite the question.
I hadn't given him a thought.
Yeah, me neither. And the cards I've got are quite intriguing as well. So if we look around here, what does he get? He gets the 5 of Cups, which straight away is what? A loss, disappointment, sense of betrayal. So sort of as an omen, maybe not so great for him. And we do see that there are 2 cups kind of standing up. And as far as I'm aware, he's going along with the investigation. However, I get the sense I might be picking up the mood of New Yorkers who might be feeling very disappointed overall at their situation. So I think I'm getting both. Why? Because I get the government card as well, but look, in the obstacle position. So people are what? They are not pleased with the government or his leadership, him as an authority. There's a sense of loss or disappointment there. So I think, especially from what my New York contacts say, this really does seem to be the case. Also as well here, if we look, we've got the 5 of Swords, an abuse of power. Somewhere there's either been an abuse of power, or people might be feeling that power is abused in some way, or there's a sense of walking away from the battlefield or feeling embattled. So I think this is also talking about maybe how the New Yorkers are feeling. Maybe this is the aspersions that's being put upon him as well. So quite multi-layered. But look, when we see here, 10 of Pentacles, the establishment, big money. And of course, when we read on this, this normally the card that comes up when we read on the GOP, isn't it? But isn't it interesting? There has been allegedly connections to the Turkish government, and this can be very much seen as a card of government as well, because it deals with big institutions, big money legacies, stuff like that. And it's coming next to, the potential abuse of power. And then the outcome card, we have here the Knight of Cups, which we can often interpret as well as the false knight. So the sense I get here as well is that I think the people of New York are not pleased with his messaging as well. Something's not going right with the communications. They may feel maybe a bit seduced, or maybe there's going to be some kind of plea deal or offer as well to maybe kind of make this all go away. We'll have to see what happens. But I think all of our cards are speaking to more. Would you agree, ladies?
Yeah, and a bit more on that. One of the viewers, thanks for writing in, from New York. New York City is not far gone. I live in a very diverse immigrant neighborhood in New York. It's very balanced and well managed. Everyone gets along. I didn't vote for Adams. I never trusted him. So this is the point. Why I've objected to what I've seen from it is demonizing the migrants for breathing as opposed to making a plan. He's got a Democratic White House. He should be on the back phone saying, send me shitloads of money. Whoops, sorry, Hogarth. I'll take that back. Send me money to house these people, which he could be doing. You know, not demonizing immigrants. New York is the heart of American immigration. So to be spewing all this stuff, you know, is terrible.
It's quite interesting, isn't it? Conflicted. Lady G, anything to add to that, or
No.
you? Okay.
Nope.
Sure. No problem. All right. So interesting though, isn't it? The cards. Interesting. I think there's certainly a lot more to come out, but there was tension, I think, in all of our cards. There's definitely a tension there, and something else simmering for sure. All right, so we go from one slightly contentious subject to an even more contentious one.
Oh, okay.
But this one was interesting. Now I'm not going to read the whole thing out, especially as there are one or two viewers that don't think I should be speaking on my own show. But that's a subject.
You do get that.
Yeah, it happens. It happens. So it's quite long, but I'm going to go through it. If anyone wants to read the responses to the question, which I think are just as valid, then please go to my community tab and where I pose the question and read it in there. That is already interesting. So this is coming from Fizzlers. So she says, okay, please don't come for me, folks. So she's prefaced it with that. She said, I'd like to ask if Russia or potentially even Iran might be involved in an info war, sucking in the left potentially against Israel. Right? Quite interesting. She says, I'm Irish. In this country, we've always been very pro-Palestine and their freedom, and rightly so. And she goes on to say, these last few weeks, something's been gnawing at me with the constant barrage against Israel on every media platform. So I decided to mix up my viewing and sources and she says, without writing an essay here, I'm not so sure we are getting the true or false story of Gaza in Western media, she's saying. I know that this is such a contentious subject, and I truly want peace for all involved, but I'm almost certain there's something else afoot here. And she said, thanks, Hogarth, and adore you, Dr.Lena and Lady G. This show is a true light on YouTube for me. So basically, to go back to the early part, she's asking, is there a potential that Russia or maybe Iran might be feeding things more on the right side as a more kind of anti-Israel propaganda? Complex, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay, I'll have to take that. Card leapt out. Is there involvement? Is there involvement? If I get the Empress or the Seven of Swords, it could be. Or if one of us gets one of those.
Well, yes. I can go if you want to.
Go for it.
Okay. Here, yes, it's a chess game. You know, I love this cut. And so here we've got the world playing chess with this. So on the one hand, yes, I'm sure something like that is happening, but it's also happening all the time, everywhere. It's just that this has this focus at the moment. So here is the Fool card in the sense that I think unless we learn the lessons of history, we are all fools, because we are doomed to keep repeating it, because somehow we don't seem to work out that no one actually wins a war. You know, that's another story for another day. It's fast and furious. This is, I think, troll farms, misinformation people generating it. This is cyberspace. Look at this beautiful balloon. I do love this deck. You know, what we're hearing from cyberspace and good on you for mixing up your sources and your channels. But at the same time, I think it's like we almost resist what we do see and hear because it's overwhelming to the senses, because it is so dramatically horrendous to watch what's happening in real time. Right, so there's a rejection. So to answer the question, I think, yes, all of that's going on, and yes, they are players, but there's also counter players. I think the disturbing thing for me, I think there's already been 12 journalists killed covering the Gaza.
Wow.
How brave are the ones that are out there to, you know.
Yeah. Astonishing, astonishing. Lady G, what do you have?
Well, this is about, you know, daily messages and trying to get things for long term. Again, above it, we have the messages, and it's the younger population that's putting this out, because they're the ones that are really into the computer. But yes, at the top of it, this energy is being put out through conversations to cut through things they don't want to be seen. The challenge, the difficulty is keeping a lid on things, because we have the writings, things coming out. We have to look at the timing of it and what is being offered about the difficulties. And again, this is coming from the narcissistic leaders that want to skew things. So yeah, they have, you know, their whole cadre of people that work on this information, putting out what they want.
But as do we. You only have to go to Sky News, you know, like.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's really intriguing. Before I read my cards, just to let people know what is also coming up as well. So we've got a Madison Cawthorn question coming up with the stuff with the brothel gate and all of that stuff that's emerging. I know. Yeah, brothel gate. We've got a Putin question coming up, and then also one about the Trumpy kids. I know we keep saying the kids. We've got to come up for a collective noun for them, haven't we? We've got to come up.
The demon spawn.
No, right. What's the demon spawn? And then we'll see what Shakespeare thinks of Madison Cawthorn, and maybe the Trump kids as well, if we can squeeze that in. And if there's time, we've got some more one-card pulls. So I just want to say a quick thank you here as well for the donations. It's so kind of you. So Kathleen,
very kind of you guys.
Thank you so much for your donation. Much appreciated. Ernie's mom as well. Thank you so much. And we have Foggy.
Foggy, you've been so staunch.
I know, she really has. And let's just also see what some people are saying in the chat as well, and who we have here. We've got Patricia Franzino, Katie Arbuckle, Susan Vasconcelos, Spirits Beyond the Stars, and many of you here as well. The chat, folks, is of a world in of itself. It really is quite something.
And Christine Park points out at least 100 UN people in Gaza have been killed.
Oh, goodness. And I think it's getting close to 10,000 Palestinians now as well.
Yeah.
It's the real horror. Okay, now the question was, is there influence essentially maybe kind of influencing the more far left, etc.? Right. So the card I get is the Wheel of Fortune. Yeah. So basically, in this context, it means there's an awful lot going on. Everyone is having a spin of this wheel. It's, for me, like when I tune into the energy, it's almost like a dark casino of horror. Do you know what I mean? People just throwing more onto this thing because they're all trying to turn the fates in their direction. Because really, this is also a proxy war as well, isn't it? Essentially between, you know, Iran and Russia, and then, you know, the West. If we look at the obstacle position, look, the death, I'm going to interpret this literally. How many people have died? It's just dreadful. We can literally see here. I mean, you do have the stained glass window, but this makes me think of all of the rubble, all of the carnage, all of the damage. This is also a card of literally being wounded in battle. This can also be reference to all of the tunnels and passages underground where the hostages are taken. But this is also the loss of life as well. I see that as well. Literally, we can just see what's around the whole situation, particularly in terms of information. Look, 7 of Cups. So there's a lot of people mixing their stuff in, you know, delusions, illusions, confusion, miscommunications. There's so many machinations going on here as well. So many choices to be made. So I think there's a tremendous amount of influences. If we look again, for me, the youth comes up again. Here we are, Page of Swords, folks. It's very obvious. And, you know, the youth are getting very, very animated. Everyone's getting animated about it, but the youth in particular. So I really do think that this is a proper thing. This is becoming a bit of a movement. And I didn't, shame on me, I didn't watch the news today, but Lena, you were mentioning that there was a protest of maybe up to 500,000 people in London for pro-Palestine, yeah, and a lot of them would have been very young. So the outcome here is, look, it's the 7 of Pentacles, and this for me is about investment. You know, I think this is, my personal thing is there has to be some kind of 2-state solution scenario going on here. It just can't carry on the way it is. At some point, someone's going to need to invest. So for me, the question mark is, who is prepared to actually invest in the future of, you know, Gaza, Palestine, and some kind of scenario where it could be more secure and prosperous in the future? Anything to add to that, ladies?
Yes, you know me. A couple of things. I've just read a very moving article. I'll put it up on my next video. It's a Jewish man and a Palestinian man, and they have both lost daughters to the conflict before October 7th, you know, one 10 years ago, one 5 years ago. They found each other and started a conversation. And my point is this: I think their conversation should be the global conversation.
Yeah.
Because Palestine is suffering from no leadership. Abbas is absolutely useless. And so there needs to be real leadership going forward in every way. But one more thing I'd like to add with that huge rally, people were making the distinction of not being anti-Semitic by saying Judaism is okay, what's happening in Gaza is not okay. So I think that's a really important distinction when you've got a huge crowd like that can be so volatile. They were very disciplined and observed 2 minutes silence for armistice. It's not easy to get 300,000 or 400,000 people to be quiet for 2 minutes. So I was very pleased and relieved. And the ugly far right who'd bust in and tried, you know, the homophobic, racist, Islamophobic, anti-Semitic far right came in huge numbers, and the police controlled them. So it was an important rally from all those points of view, I'd like to say.
My goodness. Well, I just feel like it's becoming one of the defining issues of, well, easily of 2023, and could even go even more significantly even beyond. Yeah, I really do feel it's one of those very important issues. Are we ready for the next question, or anything to add on that last bit there?
No.
Good.
Ready.
Okay. Right. All right. Let's talk about Brothelgate. Yeah. Let's talk about Brothelgate. And we need to have a chat about a certain Madison Cawthorn. Yeah. I have a very unpolite nickname for him, which I can't repeat here. It would be just too controversial. It's been in my mind for years, but I just have to keep it to myself. But anyway, but maybe I will tell Lena and Lady G off camera what it is. So now this is a part A and a part B, because two people asked again, but from slightly different angles. So let's go to the part one bit. Sorry, let me get back here. Here we are. So the first part, this is coming from Lisanne, and and Carrie Newland will be the next answer here. So she says, what are your thoughts on Madison Cawthorn providing the info to the DOJ about the Boston brothel? Now, we say allegedly, we can't confirm or deny any of this. We're just taking her question. He did talk about sleepovers and sniffing powder, you know, where the cool geriatric crowd like to hang out. And I think it was a bit more than, there was quite a lot of stuff that was hanging out from what he said. Anyway, Deanne, Cleo, and the Cool Crone were talking about it, and I thought it was a very interesting theory. So I think they're another YouTube channel. So, and she's put here, edit, did any of our beloved Supreme Court judges visit? Yeah, so I think that's the main part, you know. And she says the holier than thou ones, anyway, for entertainment purposes only. Next part, which is a bit more simple. Sorry, let me just see, because all the pages are all back to front. There we go. So this part's coming from Carrie Newland, as I was saying before. Will the high-end prostitution ring busts in Boston, Chicago, McLean, and I think she says here VA, to prove to be related as part of a syndicated ring? They all happened within a couple of days. So I think what we should ask is, what's the energy around this?
Brothelgate.
And, Brothelgate. And could there be maybe higher ups involved? How about that?
Okay, before we do, can someone let me know? Was it Madison Cawthorn? Is he in a wheelchair? Was he the one caught in the lingerie and all of that? Do you remember those images?
Yeah. Getting on with his cousin, wasn't he?
The hypocrisy is boundless. Oh, look at that.
Yeah. It's astonishing.
Sorry, what's the actual question? Oh, the energy around it.
Yeah, the energy around, and could senior people like justices or that lot be involved? Could we get some surprises? We'll see. For entertainment purposes only, folks. Brothelgate.
Oh my God, Brothelgate. Okay, I can go.
Go for it.
I've moved to the circus cards, right? This is them tying themselves in knots, trying to disassociate themselves.
Wow.
From what's going on. I think they're all ringing each other going, it was your fault. I told you we shouldn't have gone, blah, blah, blah. Now, just before I go any further, I have got 3 major arcana coming up, which says to me, big people, but my vibe is more likely high-level politicians. I don't see we're going to get Supreme Court types, because I think they have even more exclusive clubs, right?
Yes.
That's
yes.
the only reason they're not at this one, you know? They've always had it going on, Opus Dei and back to the Hellfire Club in 1792, you know. Anyway, they're in trouble when I say that politicians and other probably high-level business people. The Empress, the Popess in this case, over it is going to be a bigger case than it already is. Judgment is coming down. And just in case you weren't sure, there's the Tower.
Wow.
But I love the Tower in this deck because it's sort of like the Rocky Horror movie. It's sort of like it's blowing up in media to me, this Tower. You know, it's like a media tower.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh my
God. Lady G. Oh, so do you anything to add to that, Lena?
No, none.
Lady G, what do you have?
Well, I'm using the Joker deck. And so we have the Party Hardy Boy that's offering up some of this information, which I thought was interesting. Okay. It's about the short-term luck on the lives that these guys are leading. Now, going into it, there are those that, you know, are celebrating and thought they would make money from this and all the things kind of from heaven, but there's a fly in the ointment and they're going to have arguments about this. The challenge is, you know, they're having a very difficult time with it mentally, emotionally, because they're going to be looking deeper into this and to look for documents, more documentation with it. And just there's a lot of things up in the air with it that they are involved in, and they may have to sacrifice some people that they've been in alignment with to get some of themselves out of this.
Wow. Wow. Fascinating. Fascinating. Well, one of the things, before I start my reading, one of the things I find fascinating, particularly about the GOP, you can have all sorts of craziness going on, all sorts of lying, cheating, thieving, you know, people being shot dead everywhere, schools, hospitals, when you're just picking up the groceries in Trader Joe's or, you know, Walmart or wherever. But the second you talk about sex and naughty parties, you're out. Yeah. And he was, well, I would say he was kicked to the curb. Let's say they just, you know, wheeled him to the curb and kind of slashed his, you know, basically they were very quickly got him out of the way.
Yes.
I think this might be a little bit of revenge from Cawthorn, because he was very candid. He actually spoke the truth, and he said he was invited to all sorts of parties.
Yes,
and
exactly.
Politely declined, you know, because he's quite a good-looking guy, you know, even though he's very, very dodgy. But they were all over him.
Yeah.
Anyway, so what's this all about? Clearly, obviously, look, there's a lot of collaboration going on here. Money exchange hands. Here, like in the positive sense of this card, this is working on a group project together. Well, this certainly was a group project, wasn't it? But this can also mean what? Dark money. So look, you can see the collaboration, the money changing hands. In a way, you could almost say maybe these are two seniors that were kind of maybe propositioning Cawthorn. He was like, you know, you sure you don't want to come along? Anyway, so he obviously had the inside scoop. Now they're trying to kind of protect themselves and their security, because look, we have the Queen of Pentacles here, but in the obstacle position. So this is in a sense of like trying to kind of hold it all in, particularly when you look at the next card here. So it's almost like they're trying to keep the home safe, the hearth safe. They don't want to be exposed. And this is further backed up by, look, Four of Pentacles. So they're trying to do damage limitation as much as possible. Yeah, because it's so embarrassing. So there might be senior people that are really trying to keep a lid on this. And they're like, damn that Cawthorn, you know, almost in that Scooby-Doo sense. if we look here, we've got the strength card here. And now what's quite interesting with the strength card is that when it's reversed, it can also refer to being out of control of one's passions, giving in to one's baser instincts. Okay, it hasn't turned up reversed, but in the context of Brothelgate, I think it's got something to say. Everyone's trying to distance themselves from it. No, it wasn't me. I wasn't there, you know. What do you mean this place? Really? I've never heard of this place before. So yeah, this is them. And I thought, let me try and pull some clarifiers. So we got the seven of wands here. So they're battling from their hill. The Queen of Cups is here with her little secrets of abominations, of course. So more secrets, more likely to come out. And strength comes back again. So I'm going to take it in the sense of people have got out of control of themselves. And I think things are coming back to bite them on you know what. Anything to add to that, ladies, before we ask Shakespeare about
in the comments, Francis said, I thought the brothels were run by 3 Chinese guys affiliated with the Chinese government. And you got the 3s. I think you both got 3s.
How interesting.
Wow.
Wow.
We don't know. We're just saying allegedly.
Allegedly. And of course, the 3 of Pentacles is collaboration. That's what it means. Shall we see what Shakespeare thinks of Madison Cawthorn?
Oh, yeah, sure.
So, Lady G, I think it's your turn this week. So you tell me where to stop and we'll see what the Bard has to say about Madison Cawthorn.
And stop.
All right. Oh, this is really interesting. So basically it says, this is from Troilus and Cressida. It says, idol of idiot worshippers. How interesting.
Totally.
Idol of idiot worshippers, because they were all over Madison Cawthorn, by the way. They were all over him. Wow. And then on the next page it says, thou monstrous injurer of heaven and earth. Yeah, from King John. Yeah, ouch. But I think that says it all. You know, the Bard never fails.
Yes.
Idol of idiot worshippers. Wow.
I'll be back in one moment. Carry on.
Sure. No problem. It's remarkable, isn't it, Lady G, how the Bard so gets it. Right on point. Oh, right.
Yeah, we need a Bard tarot deck.
Do you know what? That's a really good point. Wouldn't that be fabulous? That would be really amazing. That would be really that would be really cool. Actually, Lena's back, but there's just a quick question here. So Foggy's asks, is there an astrological reasons the cards are being so clear? No, not necessarily. I think it's just I think it's the energy between the 3 of us, really. I think that's what it is. Yeah, it's the energy. It's the energy. Yeah. Are we ready for the next question?
Yes, we are.
All right. So I think the next one, I think this is Pooty this time. No, it's not. Yep. Oh, wait. Let me just cross that off. Let me just find question number 5. Forgive me. Un momento, folks. There we go. Okay. Yes. This is about Vlad. Yeah. Putinshka. So C. Kingsman has asked, so if Vlad is very sick and incapacitated, who is managing the Russian war effort in Ukraine? In fact, what's going on in Ukraine? But I think let's ask that question about Putin. Well, some are speculating that he's dead. Some say he's put it out on purpose to assess his whatever. Let's read on Putin, see what's going on.
Okay.
Putinshka.
What's
going on with Putinshka? as far as I'm aware, they've not played Swan Lake yet on Russian state TV, so he might still.
Oh, no.
That's how they did it in the old days. Still around. You still around.
Oh. Oh my God.
Oh. Interesting.
Oh, dear,
Ready to go. Lady G, you ready to go, or Lena?
Sure.
Lady G, do you want to?
Sure. Going into it, we have the Night of Offering now in this type. He's blowing the bugle about the history and some arguments that have been perhaps going on behind the scenes. He's trying to figure out his next move. At the heart of it, who's friends and who's not, because he's very paranoid at this point. The challenge is judgment. And again, he's trying to slow walk things at the moment and have a shell that he can hide in, and that's key. It's about trying to protect himself, because going forward, he's juggling this stuff, and how much can he carry? He's trying to think if he could get away, even in fact, how much could I carry and get away? Because people are waking up to a better path going forward. So I think he's thinking, you know, could I actually get away and leave the area and hide out somewhere in the world? But I don't think that's possible for him. He's too well known. He's kind of looking like high-level Nazis did. They went to, what was it, Argentina?
Paraguay and Argentina, yeah.
All right. Lena, what do you have?
Well, it's sort of like the cards throughout his biography. It's like a book. So here he was as the anointed one, you know, when he was chosen. I remember when it was announced, was it Yeltsin who died and then he came in? Everyone scrambled all over the world. No one had heard of Vladimir Putin. So here he was, the anointed one.
So it looks like
and then he embarked on his own rule of fire, which was recreating the Soviet Empire. That was his goal. Anything ending with Stan, you know, that was part of the colonial project, retaking the Crimea, all of that. But it's changed. Now he's in deep hermit mode. For him, the tower has already happened. It's not the outcome of his reading. It's already happened. The fact, I think, they went in thinking they'll crush Ukraine in 3 weeks, 5 weeks max, you know, be home over the summer with the new lands, you know. That was the tower when it didn't happen. He is being judged in his own country. I feel this is about the judgment, not so much the West there, because he still managed to control. It was an intergenerational thing and probably still is. So those over 50 will still put on state TV and think they're doing the right thing, and everyone else ran to other countries. Don't forget 300,000 Russian men left. Remember that? To avoid conscription to hell. So this is all tower stuff that's happened. Outcome, I'm glad you asked. Not looking marvelous.
What card is that? I just see the feet.
5 of Pentacles in our normal suits. A broken man.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. This is very interesting, folks. Anything to add to that, Lena, or shall I start reading
Well,
my
just
card?
like Lady G said, he's too well known, even if he gets a good plastic surgeon, to actually just go to Cyprus or Geneva.
Yeah.
That's not going to work. But
Wow.
his fantasy has been destroyed. That's why he's broken, regardless.
Yeah. Wow. And he certainly can't go, believe it or not, Crimea used to be a favorite holiday destination for many Russians. It's almost impossible to think of it that way now, isn't it? Wow.
But also, I think we all get in the trap, whether it's Trump or Putin or anyone's going, once they go, things will be better.
Right.
Look, who's going to replace Putin? It's
Right.
not going to be Navalny. It'll be probably some hardline younger maniac,
Yeah.
So we've got to be careful when we put all this into one persona, one personality.
I'm so glad you say that. And I've noticed that as well. And in my own mind, I referred to it as the head vampire complex. Yeah.
I love that, Hoagie. That is, I think, a breakthrough. Thank you for that.
Yeah, feel free to use it. Just give me a little credit, or
You can have demon spawn, and I'll have head vampire.
Yeah. And why do I say that? Because I'm always talking about this comic horror film called The Lost Boys. And in that horror film, the whole oeuvre of that film was like, if we can kill the head vampire, then all the vampires will die and we'll all be happy. Yeah. And I think there is that head vampire complex when it comes to the Putins and the Trumps and stuff like that. And, I think obviously things are going in the right direction, but I just want to echo what Lena was saying. Once they're gone, it doesn't mean everything, all the blight and all of the black mold and everything else will disappear with them. We still need to keep going. Okay, so about Putin, here we go. Moment of truth. Yeah. Wow. Yeah. I think he's really realizing a few things. But when you see the next card, it will make absolute sense to why he's arrived at this moment of truth. Yeah. Because look, 5 of Pentacles, slap bang in the obstacle position. And it's more than just being out in the cold and all of that kind of stuff and poverty. Yes, it does have those connotations because, of course, in many ways, Russia is a lot more isolated than it was before. It is out in the cold, quite literally. Winter is coming. There are, they had the sanctions and they bounced up a little bit, but now they're kind of going down a bit more. Also, as well, like Lena said, so many people left, but over 1 million people have left in the end from all sorts of directions and persuasions. So Russia is much depleted. But in the context of Putin directly himself, this is also the card of ill health. Look, see, they're not well. It's not only that they're out in the cold, you can see they're on crutches and stuff like that. And there are rumors that he had a heart attack. But look, this is Russia. Didn't Winston Churchill say that Russia is an enigma within an enigma, wrapped in an enigma, something like that?
It's similar.
Something like that.
A mystery and a puzzle and an enigma. Yeah,
exactly. It's the Matryoshka doll again. Dolls within dolls within dolls. Could he be dead? Yeah, maybe he's dead, and they're wondering whether or not they're going to play Swan Lake. Is he alive? I think he might just be hanging on. They're not sure yet.
Think he's alive.
I think he's alive. But look, he's obviously doing what like the GOP always does. Happy families. But we know in politics, this is the fake family. But I think he's still in charge. He's probably dialing in from either a hospital bed or he's recovering with chicken soup or whatnot in one of his dashes somewhere. But it looks like he is still the person in control, and he is still trying to make deals, relationships. This also as well could speak to about what is going on in the Middle East. China, of course, is incredibly important to him, as well as Iran and all of the others that he's collaborating with. So still drawing breath. Anything to add to that, Lena? Or Lady G?
Not this time, no.
All right. let's move on to the next question. So we're doing quite good. Oh my gosh, I've just seen the time. Oh my God, the time.
It'll have to be a one-card pull.
It's going to have to be a one-card pull. All right, then. In that case, let's look at the demon spawn. And
if you arrive late, that's Trump's adult children.
Trump's adult children. And I can't remember who asked me the question, but it was words to effect of, will any of the Trump children go to jail? Don Jr., Eric, or Ivanka? And I thought what we'll do is we'll do a quick one card pull on each. So let's just do a quick one. Will Don Jr. go to jail? One card pull, then Eric, one card pull, Ivanka, one card pull.
Okay, yeah, sure.
All right. So will Don Jr. go to jail? All right. All right.
Okay.
You ready? 1, 2, 3.
What did I get? Death.
Well, Lena, how do you interpret your card?
Interpret that as you may in terms of the question, will he go to jail?
Lady G?
Well, I think there's still secret to be revealed, and he may have to wind up in jail because he's not willing to spill the beans totally.
Yeah, indeed. And what is this all about? It's all about what? The family legacy, the money. Once the money's gone, he's toast.
I know.
Oh.
Look, I've always thought Don Jr., like his father, will end up in a facility because I think he's, got his let's just say, right?
Absolutely. Right, let's do a one-card pull on Eric. And by the way, ladies, you don't know this, there's over 1,800 people with us right now.
Awesome, guys. Thanks so much.
That's incredible. Thank you, guys.
Saturday
really
Night Live rocks.
Indeed. All right, Eric Trump, who's the family doofus. Will he go to jail? Let's have a look. Let's see. Eric Trump. So funny. All right, are we ready? Okay. 1, 2, 3.
Oh, the Joker. The poor thing. Look, in this, his fingers are on fire. I mean,
yes.
I think there's a possibility.
Wow.
He will be sacrificed.
Could be. Could well be.
Yeah, I think so too. He's tried to get away with it, but he's not running fast enough. He's looking over his shoulder at who's coming. So yeah, no, I don't think he's going to get away with it.
And for me, I think this is about what? My card before was about the money. This is literally about what? The properties, isn't it?
Yeah.
Real estate.
Real estate.
So
yeah.
Yeah. He might.
I think he's caught with his fingers,
Indeed. All right, and let's do one last pull for Ivanka Underbus. Yeah. Oh, she had some cards fall out. Ivanka, will she go to? I'd be surprised, but anyway, let's not color it. Will Ivanka go to jail? And she's going to close the show. Will Ivanka go to jail? All right. All right. Are we ready? Okay. Yep. 1, 2, 3.
Oh, I'm not familiar with this. That's the judgment card. What I'd say, looking at the card and thinking about real life, like so many of them, she could actually have case. She skated away from this one, but there could be more cases for her. And it to me, this speaks of this offence would normally get 3 years jail, but we'll give you a reason to get out. They don't go to jail, these people.
Yeah. Lady G?
Yeah, I don't think she's going to go. I think, she's working on selling things and the merchant and I get what I want and I know how to play it. Yeah. So,
Yeah, the smug merchant. And my one here, of course, this is she's defending herself. She's on the higher ground, batting off everyone else, including her family and stuff like that. But really, if she is going to go down for something, it's something much further into the future. But that smug merchant card says to me, broadly, she's got her wish, but something in the future. Perhaps.
But at the same time, I think when she relaxes, there will be something.
Yeah. Yep. She's got to keep her guard up. She has to keep her guard up. She lets her guard down, she's toast. Well,
Omarosa, remember her? She was from The Apprentice, and she was in the White House for half an hour and all of that stuff with Omarosa. She dumped the dirt on Ivanka, saying she knew every deal. She knew they were talking about that post office hotel. She knew the cost of every nail and every worker. She knew everything.
Yeah.
Oh, she just said, no, I can't remember. No. Can I share with us all? Do you remember this image? Is this Madison Cawthorn? How can I get it any closer or bigger? Can you see him in the outfit? There's too much shine.
No,
isn't it classic? Can I make it bigger? Sorry, I'm such a klutz. No, I can't. But I do want you to share that moment, everyone. There he is. He who was shocked at being asked to parties.
Oh, indeed.
And there he is in his sister's lingerie, probably 4 lines in. You know how it goes.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But the time has gone so quickly. So yes, we've gone over slightly, but that was lightning fast. Literally, when I looked up at the clock, the hour was already over. I couldn't believe it. We covered a lot of ground. Great form, ladies. But we also covered a lot of serious topics as well, and some humor, of course, which is always in there. Thank you, everyone, for joining us as well. Thank you for those 2 that also donated. Oh, look, there's a few more of you. So thank you, Carrie.
Guys. That is so nice of you.
Thank
awesome.
you. Thank you, Abigail, as well.
It really does help.
Yeah, it really does help. Oh, how do I click off?
And I'd like to thank Jennifer Folsom too. She says, this is the best hour of my week. Oh,
a pleasure. So we will be back next week as usual for the next HoGaLe's. Thank you so much for joining us, everyone. Thank you too as well for your questions. If you want them asked, please put them in the community section, because then I can see them all in one place. Otherwise, it's difficult to remember. Ladies, wonderful show. And I just want to thank you all for all of the support. And don't forget to like and subscribe and share to help support the channel. And the ladies' channels are in the video description as well.
Also, people were asking in the chat, that's the circus deck, the Legrand circus deck, which is rather fun.
Fabulous. Right, folks, until the next time. Thank you. That time went so quick. All right. Bye for now.
Bye.